What's up, YouTube? Right now you're hanging with Mr. Jackson. All right, y'all. We gonna talk about history again, y'all. History that we wasn't taught and we starting to learn now, y'all. Just like I said in my previous video, if y'all don't believe me, y'all don't trust me, all these people that I'm showing you in the background, because this is a reaction, so this is not really coming from me. I'm just reacting to it. Y'all can do y'all research yourself. But enough of that. We gonna go ahead and get into it, y'all. We gonna probably play straight through it. We got like 5 videos I saved over the months, and some of them I probably already show on this channel, but it's a different video, y'all. So enough of that, yo. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get it.
8 crazy facts about Black history you never knew. The last one will blow your mind. Number 1. The world's first heart surgery was performed by Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, a black surgeon who operated on a man's heart in 1893 without x-rays or modern equipment. Number 2. The traffic light was invented by Garrett Morgan, a black inventor who also created the gas mask that saved countless lives during World War I. Number 3. The blood bank system that saves millions of lives today was developed by Dr. Charles Drew, a black physician who ironically was denied treatment at white hospitals due to segregation. Number 4. NASA's early space missions were calculated by Katherine Johnson, a black mathematician whose precise calculations were trusted more than the early computers. Number 5. The ice cream scoop, lawnmower, and home security system were all invented by black inventors whose contributions were largely overlooked by history books. Number 6. Ancient Egypt's most powerful pharaohs were black African rulers, including Queen Nefertiti and the pharaohs of the 25th dynasty, who conquered and ruled Egypt. Number 7. The Underground Railroad helped over 100,000 enslaved people escape to freedom through a network so secret that many routes and safe houses are still unknown today. Number 8. Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma was once the wealthiest black community in America with its own banks, hotels, and businesses until it was destroyed in 1921, erasing billions in black wealth that could have been passed down for generations. 8 crazy facts about black history you never knew. The last one will blow you.
All right, y'all. We're going to get into the next video. Just like I said, we're going to speed right through it, man. Let's get it, man.
But I need to put this out there and put this out there right now. The white Jews that you and I have honored and been taught all these years are God's chosen people is an absolute lie. They are imposters. They are fake. They are descendants of the Romans that rose up into power in between the New Testament and the Old Testament that we as Christians believe was the Dark Ages, but God was speaking. We have been duped to believe that our black family members are low-life monsters created to be slaves and nothing more than that. But the truth is the absolute opposite. They are the chosen of God. They are the chosen of Yah. And God, even the God that we say we call upon in Christianity, is coming back to redeem his people. And it makes it very clear that the nation that held his people in slavery are going to fall, much like Pharaoh fell when he reflected
on the African American people in America. I think how that they were taken against their wills, put in the belly of ships, brought over here, beat, cussed. Many of them died in the guts of those ships, thrown overboard. They were pulled from families over there. If you're one of those people that you got a problem with black people or whatever, you better shut your mouth, because they're God's people. You better hear what I'm saying. You better shut your white mouth. I know some of you was raised in the deep South. You was raised by prejudiced people and bigoted people. You better get that out of your system. You better get it out of your system. It'll cause you to suffer. Right along with those masters. These are God's people. God knows what happened to the black race. He knows how they wound up over here. And God is going to reimburse the black people for all their trouble.
Hi.
What did you say to me? You said you read Deuteronomy 28 and you said what?
I read the whole Bible. I started when I was 5 because my mama was either going to make me sit there and listen to her read it for an hour a day, taught her to let me read it for myself. It took a while. I was a kid, King James Version. I prayed for understanding, and maybe because I was a child and I really meant it, I was able to get it. Because I started reading, everything I was reading was not lining up with what they teach you on Sunday. And I kept reading, it kept being different. And I was a kid, so I thought maybe I was reading something wrong or I didn't have some understanding. It took me a while for me to realize it wasn't about me being right or wrong. The word is right. And what the word says is completely different from what they're going to teach you. I'm not going to teach you what's in that book. Got to read it. I was 5, started. By the time I was 8, I made it to Deuteronomy 28. At the end of Deuteronomy 28, I remember it clearly. I read it. I looked up and I said, wow, really? Wow, this is awesome. I was like, I know the only people that fit what's in this book of who it says that the true house of Israel is, the lost tribes of Israel. They're lost. You know, they say they're scattered. We don't know who they are. I know who they are. It's clear. It's you guys.
What do you mean by you guys?
The folks that were sent through the transatlantic slave trade. The folks that are still in the lands of their captivity. Israel is in the lands of their captivity. There is no creation of the so-called Jewish state of Israel in 1948. That does not fit prophecy. Those people over there that call themselves Jews, they call their own selves Ashkenazi. If you go look at Genesis chapter 10, 1 through 5, it tells you Ashkenaz is descended from Japheth, Noah's son Japheth, not Shem. That means he's a Gentile. I'm a Gentile. You know, we're Gentiles. And I mean, like, I wasn't brainwashed. I got the Bible before they do the brainwashing of the programming and try to make you think Egypt is white, which is ridiculous because it's Africa. So, you know, all that's Africa. So, you know, I'm thinking clearly because I read it, I know what's going on, you know. And, like, I was a weird kid. I thought a lot. I thought about things. And, you know, my mom, she was really cool because she never taught me no kind of hate. She taught me to respect.
So what you say about the 1/3?
Okay. That Bible that's told me the truth about the fake Jews, in Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9, you know they run everything. I got to throw this in there. They run everything. The media, the entertainment industry, the banking, the world, pretty much. All the wars we fight is because they tell us to go kick ass. That's what America is. We are the Satan's military arm. And why I say Satan, Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9. I know those who say they are Jews, but do lie. They're of the synagogue of Satan. We done read they Ashkenazi, they Japheth. I mean, it's clear.
So what you say that about the 1/3 ruling the earth?
Okay, well, here's how I know that that's true. 1/3, because that's true, so the rest of it's true. You guys' story's in there, and it's all true. Lines up perfectly. It's all thing that makes any kind of sense. 1/3 of all nations will be left at the very, very end.
You said
and
of
1/3,
Israel, right?
1/3 of Israel. You guys are going to be on top, y'all.
Sunday, a good day to correct some false teaching and lies that you've been told while sitting in church or even watching movies, reading books. Moses, chosen by God, given the 10 Commandments. Most of the laws are based on that today. Even your Constitution in America some of it is based on the 10 Commandments. Moses, born in Africa, raised by Africans. Moses was a Hebrew, an Israelite, and a black man. All Hebrews were black. He married a woman from Ethiopia, and his sister Miriam didn't like this. She didn't like it because Ethiopians had a different culture to them. So she was talking bad about Moses marrying out of his race. So God was listening to this, and God said, Miriam, Aaron, who the one she was gossiping to, and Moses, please come to the temple steps. I have some things I want to speak to you about. So they were on the temple steps, and he said, Miriam, you have been talking about your brother Moses, slandering that he's marrying outside of his culture. That is a sin. He said, so for your punishment, I'm going to strike you with leprosy and whiteness. So she was struck to become a white leper. Now, you can read all this for yourself. The whole story is in Numbers 12, starting at verse 1. So then Moses saw this, and he said, please, God, you know, she's my sister. She probably didn't mean to talk about me like this. Please, I beg you, restore her back. I don't want my sister to be a leper. So God, he loved Moses, so he said, Moses, if she was talking bad and your father found out and spat in her face, for 7 days she would be ashamed and have to stand outside the house. So for 7 days then, she will become a white leper. Then after 7 days, I will restore her. But do not forget this lesson. So this you can read for yourself. So next to racism, which is a very dark thing in people's hearts, is jealousy and envy. And be very careful, because what the Bible says about envy is, and you can read it, Proverbs 14:30, it rots your bones.
Now, we learned in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. We also learned in 1619 that the Anglo-Saxon pilgrims came over here looking for religious freedom. In both cases, we were taught that they were met by these people who were the indigenous of America. But that's not entirely true. According to Giovanni de Verrazzano, the people that were found here were black in color, not unlike the Ethiopians with thick black hair, not very long. Whoa, and he encountered them in the Carolinas in 1524. That's right around the time Columbus came to these lands. This is further echoed by James Hugo Johnston, who was a professor at the University of Virginia in the 1900s. He says, to the visitor of the South, the physical characteristics of many Negro slaves bore witness to their Indian origin. Whoa! So you're talking about 400 years later, it's still the same sentiment. Wouldn't the Negro know that they were Indians if they were actually indigenous to this land? You see, that's where these guys come into play. Like Melvin Herkovich, he's the one that created the lie that American Negroes come from Africa only. Not to say that African slaves weren't brought over here, but not 4 million. Then Walter Plecker here, what did he do? He took away the benefits of the American Negro who were indigenous to this land and gave them to whites and Mexicans. Hence why you have the certain Hollywood Indian type. But this guy right here, Hedgelika, he was a curator of physical anthropology for guess who? The Smithsonian. So he was able to change the imagery of the indigenous. And he made all these changes with the stroke of a pen. But see, there's a reason I mentioned that he worked for the Smithsonian.
This is the Bat Creek stone. It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee. Since it came from Cherokee country, they didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew.
So you're telling me that the indigenous people of this land, the Mesoamericans, were not only black, but they were Hebrews? If they're God's chosen people, there would have to be some type of records left behind of their beliefs and their treks throughout this land and their history and... More men. More men.
Americans are not Indians. The grand finale. You ready? Let's go. This is one of the early flags of the Iroquois Confederation. Hold up. Run that back. This is one of the early flags of the Iroquois Confederation. Before it was converted into a symbol of hate and slavery. Did you hear that? Before it was converted into a symbol of hate and slavery. Meaning it didn't originate with Europeans. Yeah, I'm taking it there. The modern day Confederate flag was copied from the original Confederate flag. Because all they did was remove the battle cannon that was in the center of the flag. They removed the names of the so-called Indian tribes that was associated with the Southern flag or Confederate flag. Now somebody might ask, why they do that? This was all done so that Europeans could steal this symbol away from the Moors and convert it into a symbol of hate and slavery so that Moors cannot associate themselves with it and their Southern heritage to the South. Yes, Moors owned the South because only so-called Indians had confederacies. Therefore, this flag could never possibly belong to Europeans from the South because Europeans did not have confederacies because only so-called Indians did. Wow. Time out. Let's jump in the time machine. This is an ancient sculpture in Mexico called Nayarit. Now look at this symbol on the chest. The top right is the original Confederate flag. Can you see that? And this is the modern Confederate flag. It's nothing new under the sun. Now brace yourself. The Civil War was between the Iroquois Confederation South versus the Powhatan Confederation of the North. Pause. So the Moors from Iroquois Confederation South was fighting against the Moors from the Powhatan Confederation of the North. The real Civil War was fought over land rights for mostly European slaves. You had more Europeans in slavery than so-called blacks in the South because Moors owned the South. The real Cherokee Nation was infiltrated by Europeans and Mongols. The dark copper-colored indigenous people of the tribe were reclassified as freemen and were discriminated against. Most were kicked off the land. So keep in mind, Moors from the north was fighting against Moors from the south. Meanwhile, being infiltrated by Europeans and Mongols. This is where the $5 Indians came from. The European $5 quote-unquote Indians owned prisoners of war, aka slaves, under the Cherokee Nation after it was overthrown. But the actual indigenous Cherokee did not. Cherokee owned European slaves that were shipped from Europe to the Americas to work on southern plantations owned by Berbers that were also called Moors. Now check this out. Book reference. Title 29. Lenape Indian Tribe of Delaware. The tribe was formerly known as the Moors. What? Run that back. The tribe was formerly known as the Moors. What was you saying again? The Delaware School Code of 1921 established a school for children of people called Moors. Receipts. The Smithsonian Institute issued an annual report in 1948 in which the tribe was referred to as the Moors of Kent County, Delaware. Receipts. The word Lenape means we the people.
They never told you the first woman to own a bank in the U.S. wasn't white. She was a black woman named Maggie Lena Walker.
Wait, what?
Born in 1864 to a formerly enslaved mother, Maggie didn't just break barriers, she bulldozed them. At a time when black folks couldn't even enter most banks, she built her own. In 1903, she founded the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank, giving black families the power to save, buy homes, and invest in their futures when no one else would.
Oh, wow.
But Maggie didn't stop there. She ran newspapers. She opened department stores. She hired black women when no one else would. And through the Independent Order of St. Luke, she taught financial literacy, empowerment, and self-reliance to thousands.
Hold on.
While Wall Street was locking us out, Maggie was teaching us how to build our own.
Okay.
But ask your history teacher about her, and watch the silence.
Wow.
They buried her legacy because it proves we've always been builders, always been bosses. If this is your first time hearing her name, drop a money bags in the comments.
All right, y'all. That's it right there. I'm gonna end it right here, man. But yo, it's crazy, man. All the stuff I'm learning now, y'all. Just like I said in my last video, man. Well, social media messes up for certain people that didn't want us to learn this stuff, y'all. Yo, because everything coming out, what do you say? If it's in the dark, it will come to the light. And they never lie, baby. They never lie. But just like I say, man, in the beginning, man, if y'all want to do your own research, y'all can do your own research of all these videos y'all saw today. Like, comment, and subscribe, man. And I see you. Peace. I'm out.